Good morning, and I'm AJ Chandler, and I sometimes get inspired to write about things, particularly things about the world. And if you're familiar with my book Rise and Shine, you'll know that a lot of my poetry that I write is about the what I call the transformation of the world, or actually a metamorphosis of the human spirit. And so today, I want to share with you something that I wrote. It's not a poem. This is I don't. It's just something I started a few years ago and never really finished it. But I was drawn to it as well. I entitled it. I don't know if I'll keep this title if I decide to make it into a book, but it's about the human. It's about the metamorphosis of the human spirit and the wake up to a new world from the inside out. It's a rebirthing of the divine feminine. Metamorphosis is defined by the Webster Dictionary. It's when transformation occurs over a period of time and a process from when one state of being changes into another. It is when something or someone transforms into something much different from which it started. I have often wondered and thought, what if all the bad things happening around the world today are just examples of a metamorphosis in our human spirit? I believe it is. Many people today agree that we have entered into a new stage in our human evolution, where we begin to expand our ability to tap into consciousness and make decisions in our lives based on intuition, how we feel about something or situation, rather than what we think. We're starting to move away from our head space and function more from our heart space. This is the kind of transformation that is happening all over the world. We see transformation happening right in front of us every day, especially now, whether it's the breakdown of old systems that no longer serve us, or the collapse of power that has been found to be deceptive and unconstitutional. We as a nation and as a human race are no longer willing to accept these energies that are stemming from such low consciousness. Those of us who have chosen to rise above these negative vibrations are the ones who will be blessed. Jesus, Buddha, Mother Teresa, St. Francis, or any other great teacher of spiritual truths never gave in to the powers of the dark energies. No, they stayed true to their beliefs. They kept the faith, no matter what. After all, what is an awakened spirit anyway? In Christianity, Jesus taught that one awakens when they become one with the Father. They begin to understand the connection with a higher source, the God or spirit that lives within each of us. Buddha referred to this same kind of connection as a stage of enlightenment. And regardless of the name, the concept is the same. There is only one God, and we are all part of it. There's a quote in the Bible, John 17, that they all may be one, as you, Father, are in me and I in you. That they also may be one in us, so that the world may believe that you have sent me. Today when we begin to awaken to a new understanding on who we really are and why we're here, we begin to experience what many call an awakening. And whether you call it awakened or enlightened or Christ consciousness, the process is the same. It is a major metamorphosis in the human spirit. After all, God is known as Spirit, the Great Spirit, that is all-knowing and omnipotent. Jesus was a man who believed in the all-knowing of his own human spirit. He trusted in his inner guidance and allowed for his heart to be his compass. And he connected to a higher source to completely guide his life. In the modern world, we sometimes refer to this kind of knowing in our own human spirit as intuition or instinct or that gut feeling. It is that thing we feel inside when we know something is not right or when we know something is right on the mark. Once we truly awaken to this inner world, we begin to better understand this joint connection to our higher self and a spirit from within. We really understand that the things we believe in or think about do matter, and that we can manifest as the things we do not want or desire just as easily as manifesting the things that we do desire. We attract what we think about. My daughter used to tell me how she worried about the future and how she did not know what to expect, and it was scary. And I responded and I said, yeah, that's right. We don't know what the future holds. But what we do know is that what we think about today will usually manifest tomorrow. So I guess Mama was right when she said, be careful what you wish for because you just might get it. You know, as we continue to awaken and evolve consciously, we start to see more clearly and have a profound understanding and acceptance of who we really are. The whole planet is one living organism, and we are only such a very, very, very small part of it. It is this interconnectedness to everything and everyone that will ultimately save us. I believe, and I think others do too. It is this kind of love and compassion that Jesus and all the other great spiritual teachers taught. They taught it because they became it. They were being it. They walked it. They just didn't talk the language. They actually walked it. Jesus helped the needy and he helped the sick with the energy that flowed from his hands. And this kind of healing is what we call today is Reiki. It's a type of energy work where one can heal another using intention and prayer as a source to receive energy healing from the divine. We can allow Spirit to use us as a channel or conduit to provide healing energies to others and to ourselves. Once we open up to it and really, truly believe it. We must have and practice genuine faith in order for this kind of healing to work. Another quote from the Bible, as we remember, is, we can move mountains with the faith of a mustard seed, said Jesus, right? Belief is a very, very, very powerful thing. And I think that is what we are beginning to really discover about ourselves. We begin to partner more with our higher self. And we learn that we have the capacity to talk and communicate with this great force, as many refer to as God. We can have a real conscious conversation with God, universe, spirit. One of my favorite books is Conversations with God by Neil Diamond Walsh. In this book, his personal conversation with God, which resulted in an amazing book of insights for living life to the fullest, along with some very profound wisdom of humanity. We have a direct connection to an inner compass to serve as our personal lighthouse, guiding us toward our highest good and best paths. It's with us all the time. We just need to take time to get quiet long enough to listen to it. And we just simply ask. As Jesus said, ask and you shall receive. Well, what about those who say, I've been asking most of my life and it doesn't always work? I pray, but I don't always get what I pray for. Why is that? Well, most people begin to figure out over time that we can't just ask for what we want. We must ask instead, what does Spirit want for me? What is it that my highest good, what is for my highest good and will serve me the most and to help me be the best that I can be? It is then that the answers begin to show up, and that's when the fun begins. This conversation is like playing a little breadcrumb game where we ask and then we follow the little messages that show up. You know, those little winks and nudges from the universe that just happen to show up at the perfect time, leading us exactly where we need to go. We start to experience more synchronicities in our life and have more aha moments. As we begin to awaken, we begin to discover our best resource for getting clear guidance on things and for manifesting our true desires. We have what I like to call my personal CIA. Yes, my central intelligence area. And this is a place to cross-check any decisions for approval before acting on them. Or worse, trying to force things to happen in a particular way. We begin to learn to let go of the controls more and just allow this life force to pave its way through us. We learn to simply trust in this co-creating system that we have access to. And wow, it sure does make life easier and much more relaxing. Less time for actual working and doing, and more time for just being and enjoying life. It's more like being in flow. We have to remember where the CIA exists. It is the inner soul, which resides in our hearts. We learn to ask not what do I think I should do, but what does my heart say I should do? In other words, how do I feel? Not what do I think?